What is good, everybody? Welcome into a fresh new episode of the Coach and Company podcast. Yes, we churn out more content than anybody else. Now, to set the stage, if you're new to this podcast, we had a great audience yesterday. We tackled 2, 3, maybe 4 topics. Never do we go longer than 20 or 30 minutes because we understand that you have a life. We are a sports betting brand, yes, but we are also a sports brand. We love sports discussion, and we love doing that right here on the podcast. Now, if you missed any of the morning show live on Stadium or on YouTube or on social media, I encourage you to go back and watch it on demand on our Coach and Company YouTube page. And while you're there, subscribe, like, and share the page as it's brand new, as we have separated our wrestling content and our sports content. Do not forget, coming up this afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, DG and the boys will have weekday wagers, all of the line movement, anything that needs to be updated before the evening games. They'll do that today at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. By the way, I am the coach, and this is our brand that me and producer man run, but we've got an entire team, an entire company that I need to say thank you today because it's been an amazing month, and we continue to grow by the day. All right, topic number 1, and there's so many different places to go today, but this one just screams, shouldn't have done it. NFL, we know they're king. We know that there is content every single day. You can come up with something, but this one is literally at the top of the ESPN.com storylines, and it could be incredibly exciting or incredibly stupid. So the NFL is on the brink. It could happen as early as today that they will approve NFL players to participate in the Olympics in 2028 with flag football. Now, I'm not quite sure who brought this to the table. I'm not quite sure how it is going to pass. But years ago, as they were morphing and as they were trying to figure out what would make sense with the Pro Bowl, they had a flag football game on sand. The reason that game ended is because of one of the gnarliest injuries you've ever seen. I don't remember that. I think it was Todd Gurley. I can't remember the name. If you can put it in the chat, that would be amazing. But one of the nastiest knee injuries you've ever seen, and was never the same again for his actual profession, which it's already hard to stay healthy during an NFL season anyway. So I know there's going to be all of the really quick, small receivers that'll want to play in the Olympics to win an Olympic gold medal. And guess what? I'll probably watch it, but it's only going to take one big name guy. Let's say, for example, now again, this is 3 years away, so he might be retired by then. But what if Tyreek Hill plays in this flag football competition and tears his ACL? And you're the Miami Dolphins or whoever has him at that point. Now what do? You're stuck with the salary cap. You're stuck with all of that. There's not going to be a provision from what I've seen for injuries in this event. So what do? To me, the best players to go after if you're the United States are guys that have just retired that are now moving into pedestrian life. Because if I'm a player that's playing for a team, whether it's a contending team or not, the average lifespan of an NFL player is a little bit less than 3 years. It's not like baseball. It's not like basketball where you can go out there and have a 15 to 20 year career. It's very, very rare. And you're going to try and jeopardize that by playing in flag football in the Olympics? I still cannot believe that this is on the table, but maybe I'm overthinking it. You just never know. This is Coach and Company, the podcast. We are live every single weekday when I am not traveling with all of our myriad of jobs. By the way, you guys know I'm really, really, really high on the PFL. I work for them, absolutely love them. And coming up in 3 weeks, the PFL semifinals. So I'll be traveling to Nashville. I'll be traveling to Wichita, Kansas, home game for your boy, and also to Chicago, Illinois. Later today, I'm going to sit down with Liz Carmouche and a couple of other PFL fighters. We'll launch it right here. We'll post them on our YouTube and on our socials. And also, I encourage you to follow everything PFL on X, on YouTube, as the content continues to flow. I can't wait to sit down with those fighters later today. Now, Topic number 2. How is this possible? You say, what are you asking, coach? Well, I'm trying to figure out how a player can sign a contract north of $700 million. And all of these stories are negative. It's a no-win situation. And we knew for Juan Soto that this was going to be the case. When he turned down a contender, a Yankees team that went to the World Series last year and offered just 20 or $30 million less to go with the Mets, who were not a very good team. Now, are they in first place? Let's see where they're at right now before I talk out of school. Well, they're a half game back. So they're 29-19, having a decent year. But if you look at the Yankees, they're also in first place by 4.5 games. But it's a long play. And I think people, especially Yankees fans, we saw this over the weekend during the Subway Series, they still can't believe that this guy chose not to patrol right field for the next 10 years, but instead took a little bit of extra money to go across town to the Mets. So this story came out after, let's say he was admiring a single in their recent game. The Mets manager, Mendoza, says he's going to sit Juan Soto down to talk to him about hustling out of the box. Is that something we really need to do? A team leader, $700 million plus, and you've got to talk to him about hustling out of the box? You hit 3 or 4 times a game. I've never understood the mentality as a former baseball player myself. You only have to sprint 3 to 4 times a day. A day. And you can't do that? Admiring a single is ridiculous, even for a singles hitter. But this is Juan Soto. He's one of the best players in all of baseball, and this has got to be a thing. Let me read you the first paragraph of the ESPN story. Mets manager Carlos Mendoza said he'll talk to Juan Soto about hustling out of the batter's box after the slugger watched his would-be home run bounce off the green monster for a single Monday night against the Red Sox. So it's about context. That's why I hate dirt sheets. I tell you all the time, you can't just read a headline. I just did that for you. But then when you read the story, it was nearly a home run. So it makes a little bit more sense. But if this hits off the top of the wall, it means it was not a no-doubter. I don't mind admiring your work when it is a no-doubter. But Juan Soto had to know when he signed this deal with the Mets that every little thing that he does is going to be scrutinized. Every little thing. And now they're in first place. Doesn't matter. They go to Yankee Stadium and he gets booed out of the place. Cody Bellinger hits a grand slam over his head. And what's the storyline? Home run over Juan Soto's head, not into the right field bleachers. It was over Juan Soto's head. He had to know. And maybe he doesn't care. But it's come out in the last few days, and maybe this is just people putting it out there, that Juan Soto actually wanted to re-sign with the Yankees. But it was his family that encouraged him to sign with the New York Mets. And I understand the different cultures, and they do different things for different reasons. But when you're over $700 million, an extra $20 million means nothing. Go with the best team. Go with the legacy. Go with the Yankees. It's too late now. So now every little time he does something wrong, this is going to be a headline at ESPN.com or Yahoo or any of the rest of them. Run out your damn hit. It's not that hard. You're listening or watching, courtesy of our partnership. If you like to listen to the audio, just download it, put it on your car when you're driving around. You got Coach and Company all the time. Courtesy of our partnership with Believe. Now, over the weekend, it wasn't the Knicks beating the Celtics. It wasn't Scottie Scheffler winning the PGA Championship. No, the story that truly had all the headlines was a push in the back that wasn't called and a push in the side that was called a flagrant, and all of a sudden, everything's just out of control. But this is a good thing for the WNBA. I've seen so many conservative people or a lot of people that cover this particular league. They're like the little engine that could. They always have a chip on their shoulder. Nobody's paying attention to the WNBA. It's all about the guys, it's all about the NFL. So those same people with the chip start listening to those of us who see the big picture. This was not even a flagrant foul. It's not even about that. But right now, whatever the reason it is, and because I'm not in the arena, I don't know what's being said to Angel Reese. I've heard some of it, and hopefully that stops. But when you keep it in a surely competitive space, this is awesome. You want to have a rivalry. You want to have two of the top players, but the problem is, and I know Seabass is watching right now, Angel Reese is not a top player in the WNBA. She's a top personality in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is a top player in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. And we already saw in one interview how her mentality and confidence has been raised now that she is no longer a rookie. She can now speak out and people will listen. Angel Reese has been speaking out for the last year and does all of these heel type things, but doesn't embrace it, which is why now she starts to get some of this hate. But stop with the BS, fans. Who's ever, just stop. Keep this about basketball. And when you keep it about basketball, Angel Reese is not a great player. That's fact. But this rivalry is awesome for the WNBA. Any controversial attention that is good for the league. I know these players think that they have a bunch of household names. They don't. I know that there's players that think we should sit out until we get our salaries raised. You don't. It's business 101. And billionaire owners in the NBA, in the NFL, and Major League Baseball, they didn't become billionaire owners by running businesses that lose money. So if I'm the WNBA, I'm leaning into this rivalry. Play it up. Make it can't miss. Sell out all the games for the Fever when they're playing against Angel Reese and anybody else. I always say this, you can't control the game in the arena, but you best believe you can control the game outside of the arena. I learned that during my WWE days, that you've got a great in-ring product. How do you elevate it? I would say this the same way. You've got a really good product. How do you elevate it? How do you make it so more people are watching? So the next time you get a TV deal, it does raise. So then in the collective bargaining that you get a percentage of Angel Reese, understand how it works. You're not comparing yourself to the men. The reason the men are making so much money is their TV deals have elevated into the billions, and they get a percentage of that. If they had the same TV deals that you did, their percentage would be down where you are. It's 101. It's not that hard to understand. It's just that you don't agree with it. So you're putting it out there that they should do something differently and they should lose more money. It's not the way that it works. Now, there has been other controversy that has come out of this, and you've probably seen it. And I have two projects that are on ESPN. I love being on ESPN. There's no way I'm going to jump into the deep end of this one. But my goodness, we had a couple of very well-known sportscasters out there yesterday that were going toe-to-toe and made it a race issue. Brought up wives, kids, families. Can't do it. I don't care what the topic is. Can't do it. And there have been people that are on both sides of the fence on this one. I do not care to be involved. But the one thing I do agree with from what RG3 said is if you're going to fight and you're going to disagree with my sports take, fantastic. And I would say the same thing. I have no issues with that. But if you start bringing up my wife, my kids, my family, now it just becomes ugly. And there is unwritten rules in this game that you do not do that. This one clearly was more personal because Ryan Clark then said, you know why I did this. You know what you did. So he basically put it on Front Street that he had a big issue with RG3 separate from this issue. So it almost felt like he was looking for an opportunity to go after RG3. They both don't look good. But wives, kids, families, you leave it on the field, so to speak. You're listening or watching the Coaching Company podcast. We do it every single weekday, never more than 20 or 30 minutes. Finally, tonight, the conference finals get started in the NBA and in the NHL. And I'll be honest with you, the NHL playoffs have been far more exciting than the NBA. We had a lot of blowouts, not sure why, but I'm excited for the Final Four. I'm not like the networks that are probably begging for the Knicks to beat the Indiana Pacers. Begging. Don't know if that's going to happen. But you want to have the number one TV market in your finals regardless. Can you imagine? Pacers Thunder or Pacers T-Wolves in the NBA finals? Ouch. Ouch. But I think the games would be good. I think the games would be exciting. I think it'd be a good series. But from a national standpoint, there is no substitute for star power, whether you're talking about players or whether you're talking about teams. Knicks Thunder, to me, would be the most attractive final series. Knicks, Madison Square Garden, celebrities, the whole 9 yards. The Thunder, the overall number one seed, the best team this year in the NBA. Minnesota's a team that's coming. Minnesota making it to the Western Conference Finals for the second year in a row. But they're a small market team, essentially. Minnesota is a small market team if you compare it to New York, Chicago, LA, Miami. So to me, if you're rooting, and I haven't even asked Raphael yet what the kind of the splits are and what the sports books need to be profitable. I will ask him on tomorrow's show, though, because there's always a matchup. There's always a way that they want people to bet in order to break even. They would love for it to be even on both sides. They take the juice. It's all good. But my guess is that they would love to have Pacers T-Wolves or Pacers Thunder. Either way, they probably make money. Because a lot of people live in New York, bet on New York, bet on the Knicks. They want to see Madison Square Garden. They're betting with their heart, not necessarily their heads. But I also think the Knicks right now could be a better team. Baby Coach on Coaching Company, he took the Pacers in the series, plus 149. What does Baby Coach know that the rest of us don't? We're about to find out. All right, do not forget, we are very, very busy at the brand. We pump out content every single day. Subscribe to both of our YouTube channels. BTT has all of our wrestling shows, Coach and Bro, The Last Word. I encourage you to watch those two shows on demand from yesterday. Then our brand new Coach and Company YouTube channel. Subscribe there. You get Coach and Company. You get all of our shorts. And also you get weekday wagers Monday through Thursday and weekend wagers on Friday. That show at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll do it for now. For producer man behind the scenes, I am the coach. We will see you tomorrow morning. That's right. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. live on Stadium. It's Coaching Company. Until then, have a great day.